Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Let me show you how the news are made in the West, and that's regarding a specific article. And this specific article I found earlier today, and I said, well, I can make a video on that because it's very important. So I will show you the the article that I found, and it's from Associated Press. It's by Joseph Kraus and Wafa Shurbabubaguga. Anyway, so it is from Associated Press. This is the title, and it says Israeli strikes demolish entire Gaza neighborhoods as only power plant in territory runs out of fuel. Here is the article. You see Associated Press over there. Okay, the pop-up. This is Associated Press. Okay. So I said, let's look for the article. So I went right here on Yahoo because I don't go on Associated Press. Sometimes they want for some things. So I said, I put over here as a keywords, search words. And I got, here, right here. Israeli strikes demolish. Israeli strikes, the title is the same. And I'm going to go on it. And when I try to access it, different title. Israel and Netanyahu opposition agree on unity government to work cabinet after Hamas attack. Is the same picture. Is the same picture, but it's a different title. All of a sudden, this is okay. Different title, but it's okay. Maybe it was just a mistake. So I'm going to go back here. I'm going to try another one. Yahoo News, the same thing. Right here. But you see what's over here? KTLA articles by Associated Press. So you don't find it under this. It's just a different title now. And if you go on other ones, the same. If you go on, let's see this one right here. Again, the same title that initially, right? Where is it? Right here. It was right here. But nevertheless, I found it on a different one on US News, and I'm going to use it from here. It says here, Associated Press. I have this little problem many times when they put a little headline somewhere. I find it for a few, minutes maybe, half an hour, and then when I try to see it again, boom, it doesn't. The whole thing is changed. You don't find that again. So anyway, Israeli strikes demolish entire Gaza neighborhoods, plural, as only power plant in territory runs out of fuel. How do you call this? Destroying Hamas or destroying a people? A group of people. These guys are lumping together Hamas with Palestinian people. It's just a little bit, Emil is a human being, I guess. But Emil is a male. So males are part of the human beings. Okay? Part of the human beings are the female as well. Okay? So it's the same here. You can't just lump into, Hamas, the Palestinian people, all of them into Hamas. There are some supporters. There are some that do not support that. There are some people who support, but they don't act upon it. Because you can support and say, I agree with the rain. I like rain. Oh my God, you can't like rain. Well, I don't do anything to support it in any way. I think they're doing a good job or a bad job. I can have that. And unless I act negatively upon my convictions. Otherwise, we would be charged for looking at someone in a certain way. Just by looking and thinking. Anyway, my friends, demolishing entire neighborhoods is not a way you conduct war under the international law. However you want to take it. And if you don't believe me, go back about a week ago and see how the same people who talk about now Israel and that, and they report what Israel is doing in Gaza, how they reported about the Russians bombarding, Kiev or others. They call those war crimes. Criminals, genocide, blah, 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 blah. Now these guys demolish entire Gaza neighborhoods. I don't think it's only Hamas people living over there. So obviously there's this, fuck it, let's go. It's one. And the second one, the only power plant in a territory runs out of fuel. As Israel said, we're going to cut off your fuel, your electricity, your food, and your water. Remember, let's say the Russians would do this to the guys in Kiev. How would that be called? By its definition. All right? The actions fit a term. What's the term again? Yes, that one, exactly. But they will not use it here. There are some voices that say, wait a minute, that's against international law. What's going on over here? Well, those guys were like right here. I'm going to show you. You see this guy right here? Oh, not that one. What the hell? Where is that? I went over. Red Rover. Like this one, let's use it because it comes from Haaretz. EU, European Union's Borrell, the foreign policy minister of European Union, said that Israel has to adhere to international law. And he said that Israel's actions actually violate the international humanitarian laws by depriving a group of food, water. That's what it is, my friends. So nevertheless, let's go back to the article and read what else these guys do. Palestinians in the sealed-off Gaza Strip are struggling to find any safe area as Israeli strikes demolish entire neighborhoods. Hospitals run low on supplies, and the territory's only power plant ran out of fuel. Now, this is not to justify or to defend anyone, but I think the victims, regardless their origin, they should be defended. And that is Israeli victims, there would be Palestinian victims, American victims, Russian victims, Ukrainian victims, doesn't really matter. They have to be defended. I think what's going on over here, that's really disregard for civilian casualties whatsoever. Palestinians in the sealed-off Gaza Strip struggled to find any safe. Hospitals ran low on supplies, and the territory's only power plant ran out of fuel, deepening the misery of a war sparked by a stunning and deadly assault by Hamas militants. Well, I would like to remind Associated Press that this war did not start when these guys attacked Israel. The war started way back in time. I think it started in 1948, actually, and it's been a continuous war because we have the same situation over there created and will not end. That my assessment on that is this thing in the Middle East with Israel and the Palestinians will not end until, I'm going to be straight, that's what I think, not that I want, people will be so separated from one another that they cannot touch one another, or one people are just going to be sent away from the area, and one people, but certain kind of, and one nation will remain supreme, and nobody will ever attack them because the other guys are really kept in check by a higher power, not God. Al Capone or Russia or something like that. That's the only way. These guys really isolate themselves. You can't reach one another, or one or the two leave the area. Now, when I leave the area, that's not a good thing. Okay, that means these guys can employ ethnic cleansing. That's what I think is going to happen in Gaza right now. They're just going to force the population to leave by bombarding and flattening everything. When I flatten you, you're going to leave on your own accord, and you're never going to come back because we're going to seal off the crossing to Egypt. You're never going to come back because you don't want to come back, because if you're going to come back, we're going to institute certain kind of self-defense measures and policies that you will be up. So I think that's one. Or you just flatten it. It was another lawmaker I made a video on, an Israeli lawmaker saying we should use nuclear weapons it's time to use nuclear weapons in Gaza. What? Not surprising, but that was fast. I mean, I waited for them at least to give it a try, and becoming harder to take care of Gaza because Gaza is Hamas. Really? Again, it's don't lump together the population with the guys in charge, because if you do that, then the United States, the people that are still alive and were alive during the Second World War, they could be called war criminals because Truman dropped 2 atomic bombs on 2 civilian cities. I mean, that's a war crime, however you want to twist it and turn it. Why? Just use the same argument for Putin and see if that would fly. Of course not. If Putin says, well, we're going to shorten the war here a little bit, we're going to save our boys' life. These were the two justifications Americans gave to the Japanese in the Second World War. So, what does that mean? Well, it means that if you have the power, you can do what the fuck ever you want, and nobody can say anything regarding that. And Israel can do anything it wants, and will do anything it wants. Israel will do, and nobody can intervene. United States is over there to make sure that Israel bloodies up Gaza as the group of Palestinians, not Hamas. Because if you say, well, those guys supported Hamas, well, do you think the Americans did not support the US government? And do you think the US government of Harry Truman asked the American people if we should drop the atomic bombs? No, they made a decision. And I don't think it's viewed as a war crime here, is it? Some people say it is. Some people say, no. Technically, what's technically? Read the freaking definition. But anyway, here it is. They demolish entire neighborhoods. Let's see what's more here. Israel has vowed unprecedented retaliation against the Hamas militant group ruling Palestinian territory. Again, after its fighters stormed through the border fence Saturday and gunned down. So it says that you see how they word it. Israel has vowed unprecedented retaliation against Hamas militant group ruling the Palestinian territory. So they say, well, they're in charge of you, we're going to obliterate all of you. So that means what? You drop an atomic bomb in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, that means all the people here are part of that decision? I don't think so. So then they're still civilians, are they? Are not protected by international humanitarian law? Probably. Anyway, they tell us here what happened. Tralala lululu. It says, after the attack, Israel stopped the entry of food, water, fuel, medications in the territory. A 40-kilometer long, 25-mile long strip and land wedged among Israel, Egypt, and Mediterranean Sea that is the home of 2.3 million Palestinians. In that little strip. How are we going to find Hamas? I guess they found the way to find Hamas in Gaza. It's working. Okay, keep going. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.